Alright, Ansar Palace, showing another day of progress on the project. Basically some sanding and another layer of paint. So with multiple sanding and layers of paint, now this is kind of a finished grade of plywood. It was like 10 bucks extra a sheet, but it wasn't full furniture grade. Full furniture grade isn't rated for outdoor use. This stuff is. So it's you can kind of see what's going on in here. These windows will be, I gotta wait for that paint to dry before putting that on, and then this front's gonna be a bugger. But there it is, and I'm gonna do this as a separate video segment compared to the others. What we're looking at here is kind of a stealth camper, quasi stealth camper arrangement. It serves as a room because the bed can roll up. You got a nice wood floor, or imitation wood floor. The dresser is bolted to the wall, but we're going to unbolt it and put the siding, the interior siding in. And it's been slow. I mean, I'm doing this on vacation time, so this is working with the guy who's going to end up owning it. He's on a really tight budget, so I promised we could do this for about $1,200 in materials. The labor situation is kind of out there. A lot of it because it's a relatively new thing for me too. I've done a lot of this kind of work, but this is the first one I've built, and we're trying to work out a lot of design issues as we go, especially with this living module being removable. And of course, we're going to get into the power system and everything on that. It'll be not self-contained in RV where you have a bathroom and a kitchen, but it's going to have its own electricity. It will be off-grid capable. But the idea is that you would be using a restroom that's outside of it. And so we'll show more progress in the next segment. So this is the Ansar Palace project, phase 3. I think we're into about the third day of real production, although we've been off and on kind of working on things for about a week, working through designs, but a lot of that means stopping to go out and earn the money for materials. And of course he's been getting some donations for that because of his situation, which has definitely helped. I'm not against that. I just but this is somebody who probably couldn't otherwise afford it. We're not talking about some guy who waves tens and thousands of dollars worth of firearms in front of a camera and then goes e-begging. Okay, that's not what's happening here. Not by a long shot. There's a alternative media guy who kind of had some hard times, but no longer homeless, basically. I mean, this is going to be his place for a little while, and then get a room rental here in Portland probably. But we're doing this because that'll be kind of the bedroom thing if he's driveway surfing, which works better than couch surfing, and it's a small, unobtrusive design that will park in a space that a normal vehicle would park in. Okay, very small, unobtrusive design. The back door situation is going to be pretty elaborate, so that we haven't started building those yet. Got done with most of the hitch modifications, basically shortened and rounded it a little bit, but we do no modifications at all to this. That'll get bolted on in the normal fashion and then welded in place also as an added safety thing. I don't know if you can kind of tell in the video, to your right is 2 layers of paint, to your left is 1 layer of paint. So you can kind of see how the finish is a little different. To your right, that has been sanded. It was painted, then sanded, then sealed, sanded again, and then repainted again. Okay, so that's the second layer of paint, but it's also been sanded and sealed. We use liquid nails on that to seal all these seams and cracks, and then sanded a couple of times. Now that's wood, but you can see how it takes on a lot more of an automotive finish. And this is 3/4 plywood. Okay, so it's not something specific for vehicles. It's actually much more heavy duty, and it's structural. Okay, this is structural grade plywood. So as you can see, the top, where I cut this thin to have the windows, we've got no weakness here, but I'm still going to run a vertical when we put that panel in. using the this PalRam sunlight stuff, which I've used on other projects. It's kind of a corrugated, you see the end of that. It's a greenhouse material that's it's insulated. Okay, so you actually put packing tape around the corners to insulate that, and so the insulated chambers, you've got that, and then we're still, once I'm finished doing the welding up on the corners to reinforce this a little bit, I may add metal to it. Not necessary, but it makes me feel better to put it in there. We're going to do a little front build out here with the battery holder. I'm against putting propane on this. I'm looking at having propane bottle holders in the doors for the small bottles, but no big bottle anywhere on this. And the heat, I personally think it's going to self-heat greenhouse style fairly well, but you know, one of those little propane buddy heaters is going to be just fine for this. And it's a small space, and it's going to be well insulated. You can see how we've got these wood things here. There's going to be insulation in the walls. It's a rigid foam, and then paneling in there. But the other aspect of it is we went through a lot of trouble to seal everything. Seal it with kind of an epoxy resin type of stuff. So with everything sealed, I think our insulation situation is going to be just fine.